All right. Hello. Welcome to Top Deck Monthly Cup. We are in week number 2. We have got down to 8 people now. Tonight we were going to show one match, but we ended up getting another match lined up too. So I'll get to that in a second. Joining me today is the man himself, Mr. Spags. How are you doing today?
Doing well. How about you, Greg?
Not too bad. Not too bad. So yeah, we got an interesting matchup here. First, we have Jason Deng, who we saw last week. He defeated Josh, and then we have Peter Foilflaws. Looking at the deck lists, we've got both players on Haley and Titan. Any comments on the deck list? It seems like the Haley lists are a little different, but the Titans are pretty similar.
Definitely. Yeah, I noticed a lot of similarities, but some differences. You know, once we have the restricted cards brought in, I thought it really hurt Haley to not have Levy anymore. And I felt like they were either going to go with Cloneship or Aesops, and both of them went with Aesops here as a restricted card. But there are some differences. We'll see them hopefully come up and play. And the Titans are much more similar. There's a kill option in both, but looks like only one of them has a way to actively tag the opponent. So we'll see how that comes about.
So I got a question for you. What do you think about, as far as Titan? Do you like the Titan with the hard-hitting news, or the Titan without hard-hitting news boom stuff?
I don't like Titan, period. Okay. But if I had to choose, I guess if you're going to have a kill option put into it, I feel like I would have the hard-hitting news. If it doesn't make sense to me, right? Like, you'd have the way to at least punish them for being aggressive and reckless. That's what hard-hitting does, right? For going low on money. So I'd either have the hard-hitting or not run the kill option.
Well, do you think that there's enough people running hard-hitting out of Titan that if you don't run it, you still get sort of the same respect as if you did have it, or does that not factor?
Yeah, I think I do like that just the fear of it would slow people down just even a half step. And I think most decks I've seen out of Titan are running some kind of backup kill, so maybe it's best not to run the hard hitting. Then I guess you could just still put booms in just to hurt tag me decks.
Yeah. I mean, you've got tag me decks, and you've got some tagging ice that is in those decks, so they potentially could still go tag me even without the hard hitting news, I suppose. Let's go ahead and look at some player profiles. We looked at Jason last week. Yeah, he's actually on the same. I think he's on the same as he was last week. Titan and Haley. The decks might be a little bit different, but same IDs. Jason had a 4th at Canadian Nats this year. He also had a 2nd at North American Nats, so he's having a good season. And Mr. Peter, who we have not had on, I don't think, as a feature yet. He's also had a solid season. Got a top 4 Cleveland Regionals, and he top 16 U.S. Nats and North American Nats this year.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good run considering was essentially retired for a lot of this year. He actually had a pretty good showing, and Jason had a really good year. Apparently, he grabbed a copy of our Wizard deck for Gen Con, tweaked it a little bit, and just had an awesome run with it. And yeah, it's been really solid. Then he went on to he and Josh just dominated Canadian Nats.
Cool. All right. Well, unless you got anything else you want to throw down, we can jump into these games.
No, yeah, let's take a look. Let's get them going. A lot of chatting already going on here. They're waiting for us.
All right. So it looks like they waited to take their mulligans. Jason mulligans in a pretty good hand. He's got Procon, Cash, Diesel, Astrolabe. That's pretty solid.
Definitely, and there's one of the differences we already see in the list. I see Procon is not in Peter's list, so I mean, similar builds, but they're going to be quite a bit different. Looks like Peter relying a lot more on Tapworm and some operations.
Sorry, I always forget to turn the sounds off.
Here comes the clot early. You could just mute your tab. Yeah. The problem is they don't have clone chips, so when they get a clot early, you have to decide when to play it. Because once you play it without clone chip, you better have the satcons ready, and then you have a few turns of just sitting through it and weathering purges. I'm assuming, right? So it's tough to get it this early.
So we got 2 ice walls up right away. We have one that was priority constructioned out on the remote, and then one on the HQ, I guess, to go ahead and protect that agenda that he's probably going to look to score next turn.
Yep. We know Haley decks are a little slower and usually built for setting up for the mid game, and as a result, you should be able to rush us pretty well.
Looks like Jason's taking his time here trying to figure out what the best course of action is.
I do like this stim hack, though. I mean, if you could get a self-modifying code, it's a nice way to break out of the thought that most people would have that Haley is too slow to attack.
Yeah, it looks like he might have played that diesel hoping to hit an SMC.
Not able to take advantage of the Haley ability here, but that's fine. He rushes. I think you do. You maybe even put the Mausolus there. No, you can't. You can't put the Mausolus and res both. You think he's just got to take the risk that Jason can't get in. It's a 4 strength ice wall. Jason's gonna let this one go. It looks like. Get the money going with ace hops.
So what do you think about Pro-Con these days? I haven't really seen too many people playing it, but
I haven't either. It is strange, but I guess if you're looking for econ, especially out of a deck that installs resources, it makes sense. I personally haven't been testing it. We've been leaning more towards Opus builds or using Tapworm with clone chips. So it's a little bit different than what I've been trying out.
Yeah, I feel like Opus builds are pretty popular at the moment.
Yeah, it's just Runner Econ got so hit by the banned and restricted list and Core 2 that looking for something in Opus, that's why it's on the list. It's the most reliable economy in the game right now.
Yeah.
You need some way to be able to battle asset spam as well.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you're saying Cash Tapeworm or Mopus. I've been more on either Aesops or Mopus, but that sounds good too.
Well, so if you can set up the Tapworms well, and we may see it in the next game here. You can just set them to lock them, and you're time walking for a few turns, and it lets you to either keep building up or attacking at will. It's pretty deadly. You got a Trick of Light already here, man. That priority construction really helped the Trick of Light game out, didn't it?
Yeah. So I've been playing a similar Titan list like this quite a bit, and I don't know. I find when you draw like a priority construction early, and you have an agenda and an ice that you can play, like really gives you a big boost in the early game.
Yeah, the priority construction is essentially Wayland's Mushin, which is just fantastic compression.
Yeah, and then when you toss in, that you can use Trick and Light later, it's pretty gross.
You can Trick a Light with the Mushin card too, Greg. I don't know if you've ever been told that.
No, I don't think I have.
It's not just for putting out a Ronin or an agenda. Ooh, a turning wheel. This is starting to shape up. And it wasn't an Atlas. If he can deny the Atlas from getting going, I think you have a good shot. The remote could be tough. He doesn't really know what's in it. Any 3 advanced ice out of this deck, it can be pretty scary.
Yeah, and he's got the Colossus on top of the ice wall. So if the Colossus fires, then he can, he can hit the Inti.
Here comes the Anson. The battery's going to begin. This IP block could do some work if he sees an opt-in, but I'm probably not worried about it. It's more for a turtle deck, which you're not really going to see in Haley too much. No reactions. That's right. We are on Haley, but he is SMC, and you could pull Clot out of his hand or the deck at this point. Here comes the attack. He's on 30 credits.
Wow.
Turn 6. That's pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be tricky.
Yeah, I mean, what's his Sentry Breaker? Do you remember?
Look, it's probably a nanotech, but you could also just set the Ottman at 4. The problem is you could just advance the Colossus out. You take a quick look. Yep, 2 nanotechs.
Yeah,
that's how I pronounce that card, at least, because it looks like little.
Sounds good.
Devices going. I know it looks like some Inuit word.
Yeah, I think you're right about the Ottman. If he sets the Ottman on 4, all Peter's got to do is advance that ice, and you can't break it anymore.
Right. Although it'd be great just for this run because you can go through both. They're both strength 4 ice right now.
That's right. Actually, it would definitely be good for this one.
He doesn't know that, but I like to see some of the space ice coming back. They're really good too with priority construction.
Yeah. Wormhole seems all right. It's
That's probably the best of the bunch because it's such a high strength code gate, and I mean just to pull any other subroutine, there are a lot of nasty subroutines on these ice.
Right. It does have a little bit of a not positional, but a little bit of a. You have to have other stuff res for it to do anything, so you can't use it as like your first rush piece.
No, so he's going with the Ottman 4. Excellent call. I don't know if he has. Let me see if he has scavenge to reset this if need be, but he does have 1 scavenge. So I guess it was great for this run. Just an Ants and Rose. Peter pretty low on money right now. Seems to be a worry. Wow, those 30 credits evaporated fast.
Yeah, coming in with 30 and coming out with 10. Wow.
Well, he installed 3 programs and Trash and Ants and Rose. I like this turning wheel, but that will involve him pressuring the centrals, which I don't know. At some point, perhaps. Oh, GFI is clogging the hand up. Not what he wants to see here. Maybe if he had a double trick of light, but maybe he could never advance there. He probably should start to advance the remotes. The thing is, he just doesn't have the cash for it. Would you hide one of these in archives right now? I guess there's no need to yet. Worried about getting credits. There's a scavenge already, too. That's nice. The Almond's going to become a liability here, though, right now.
Yeah.
Another strength 4 ice that leads, but
yeah, I would say IP blocks probably a reasonable ice to expect in this deck.
I think so. I think it's a reasonable ice to expect out of most decks. It does have the liability of facing Link that it becomes useless, but there's just so much AI out there right now with the turtle running rampant.
Yeah. So Peter is playing 1 preemptive action, so I don't think he's going to be looking to dump too many agendas into archives.
No. I mean, sometimes you can use that as just a hideout, but if you're really worried about HQ is looking pretty good right now with that IP block. I run 1 preemptive and Titan 2. I don't think you need more than that because you should be moving quick enough.
Yeah.
Looks like both their lists are on 1. There it is. Yeah, honestly, could bump both of those up 1, or maybe I think he's hoping to trick light the ice wall down. Although,
yeah, Peter's got 2 trick of lights in his hand now. So
yeah, if he never advances the GFI, he could double trick it out. He'd need another ice advance twice. Maybe just that Colossus again or something else. He's just really broke right now. He just has to hold tight. This is where Jason should attack, but Jason he continues to set up. I don't blame him for going for money. Ugh. This is a sure tell that Peter's not getting what he wants.
So now I lost the game screen.
Overdrawing. There it is. He did duck one of them finally. I think that's a good call. I wouldn't expect... Unless they're on Tapworm, I wouldn't expect them to check archives at this point. Seems safe. It's not like he's going to score it. Probably willing. Usually, right in this kind of deck, just like a blazingly fast advanced deck, you're going to bleed agendas. Jason drawing a bunch of stuff he doesn't really need. Whole lot not really useful here. Neither's SMC. Here's the money, you need it. All right, Jason's got to stop screwing around here. Here he comes. Let's see what we got here. Ice Wall, Mossalus. Neither are too threatening right now. Just let the Mossalus completely fire.
Yeah, unadvanced Mossalus is not too bad.
No, not at all. He doesn't really need anything in the hand. Probably worth just letting it go. Well, I guess he had Gordian. I don't know. I probably would have saved the money. IP Blockman, for its cost, is really going to slow Jason down. Jason can't afford to go tag me because, like we said, most of these Titan lists are running at least one boom. Numerous SACCons. The nice thing about that is at some point he could run through the Colossus and not really care. Take a tag and toss a SACCon.
All right, so he consulting visits for the fast track.
Wow.
Gets an Atlas, stalls in the remote.
He's going for it.
Yeah, he's got the 5 strength Ice Wall now.
I don't think he knows that unless Jason thinks it's a bluff. I don't think he realizes Jason's on a stim hack here. Oh, trashing the Inti.
Well, Peter was co-hosting with me last week, and Jay Deng had some clutch plays with the stem hack, and he even came on and said, "Don't lose your stem hacks in Shaper. keep slotting them."
Yeah, I love stem hack and Shaper. Definitely, been trying it out of a kit build recently. It's been fun. Jason's on one lady, one Inti. I guess he has scavenge, but I don't know why he sold that. I would have sold the daily cast here. Kept it Inti.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't, I guess now he has 2 MU. He can drop an SMC and get in with a lady, but yeah, actually, sorry, don't sell it. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding, Jason. That was probably a bad idea. One of your 2 fractors. Kind of ruins his Haley. He'll have to manually Haley trigger this turn. Ooh, interesting. So wait a second. What is he doing for the money? Is he selling something? He sold the Opman instead. Yeah, he sold the Opman. Come on, Peter. It's obvious that's what he's doing. He's not just overwriting it. Yeah. Yeah, Peter. Sometimes it doesn't seem obvious what's going on. Maybe it's easier to armchair quarterback, right? Yeah, I loved Haley ever since Pitchfork. The problem is we entered into asset hell after I built that deck, and
yeah.
Here's the nanotech. Like I said, he probably could have just eaten this with a SACCon, but this is fine too.
Unfortunately, I think asset hell may not be over yet.
No, it's not. It's just it's different. Yeah, you're right. There's still plenty out there, Gagrin and all sorts of stuff. DTM, IG. I guess he wants to save the SACCons for the clock, right? So probably best not to waste them. Nice, very nice.
Yeah, I think that there just comes a point in this game where Peter can't do anything if Jason's completely set up and he's got a clot and 2 SACCons.
And that's the thing. If you can start purging, but you see that when fighting through Tapeworm too, where it's just time walk, and after 3 or 4 turns, it's just the hand just fills up, and we don't have Howard anymore to alleviate that issue, so it's just exacerbated.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I think Jason, if you can kind of remote lock here, gosh, there's the hostile. You can't even hostile takeover. You keep never advancing here.
Interesting to note, Peter is not playing a CVS, so if he gets, if he needs to fast advance, he's gonna have a serious problem.
He's got to purge. Yeah, I don't think a lot of these lists are right.
I don't know. I'm running 1 in mine.
I don't see Jason on either. I don't think it's terrible, considering the turtle out there, but they probably feel it's extraneous, and if they have to fight through cloth, they'll do it the old-fashioned way, or just do this, never advance. Priority construction allows you to do this, which is nice. Build a solid, hardy remote. It's going to be expensive for Jason to get in now, though. He maybe maybe here he should have sold the Inti and gone to the Lady, but probably once he's on the Lady, it's only so many uses. He's thinking of selling the casts, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Well, unless he wants to sell something else, he just benefits from an extra credit here.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Well, I don't think he would want to sell anything else.
Well, like I said, unless he was going to free up an MU to get the SMC out, but I don't really think he needs the SMC for anything else except Lady at this point, right? Everything else is in play or in hand.
Yeah.
Oh, did do it. Drew the Lady.
Nice.
That's fantastic. I think you have to keep attacking this remote, right? There's not like there's a trap in there. Like it's either going to be Anson Rose, Agenda, or maybe a CVS, right? What else would you expect out of Titan in a remote?
Right.
Brian Stinson, maybe? Yeah, solid use of the counters here. He can. I think he's going to have to save this scavenge for the Lady. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been playing Titan, and have you been enjoying it?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I like fast decks. Like, I was one of those people that played Fastro until it into the ground.
Definitely. Wow, priority constructing an IP block. That's desperate measures. Yep. Yeah, in that regard, it does feel akin to those old Fastro decks in some way.
Yeah. I've always liked, on Corp side for some reason, I've always kind of liked a high variance strategy. Like, I don't know. It keeps me like fresher, like in long tournaments. Like if I'm going to a tournament that's going to have like 4, 5, 6 rounds of Swiss, I just I don't know. My games. I like to wrap my games up and have a little bit of time to move on to the next one.
No, yeah. Win or lose, you like to get in and get out. Sure.
Yeah,
that's fair. I didn't attack the hand here instead, not buying the remote. This is really going to eat up the counters.
Yeah. Now, runner side, I've always been a little bit different. I always like a little more like control-ish decks on the runner side. I don't know why. For some reason, my play style, they just seem to. That's why when you came up with the Haley deck, I was all about it.
Sure. It definitely was a nice control deck. Handled a lot of issues. Comes to hostile, but Jason's on game point already. Why does he use the turning wheel to attack HQ? Oof. Ooh. Ugh. Yep. That was a great draw. He just drew up that hard hitting. It's going to set Jason back unless he just goes full tag me. Which he could. He could just gamble. I don't think he has any defense, though. You look against meat damage.
No misdirection in Jason's list.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think most shapers I've faced are on it, which is hard to fight.
Yeah, it's a nice card to just kind of have in your hand and then
Yes.
pull it out at the right moment.
Seems like every time I hard hitting green deck nowadays, right? They drop it from hand.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no reason to install it until you get it hit.
Exactly. And then you just SMC or whatever. And it's I would hate these 3 StatCons because they have best defense a ton of misdirections lately. It's one nice thing of these 0-cost cards, they're a perfect target for that card. So how have you been liking the new meta?
I like it. I like it so far, but it's scary going to Worlds and not really knowing exactly what's gonna. You know what I mean? Like every year, there's always been like, all right, you're gonna see a lot of this, you're gonna see a lot of that, but I don't know. This year, I feel like I have no idea. Like I'm not as like plugged in as some people, though. I'm sure, like, I'm sure the best of the best have an idea, but yeah, I'm a little lost personally.
Nothing wrong with that. It'll be a fun surprise.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the Aesops. That's big. Real big.
I feel like people are keeping things closer to the vest this year because, there's just so many unknown factors at the moment.
Definitely. Hence why we had this scraping incident.
Yeah, I'm sure people are desperate to know what's going on.
Yeah, even you see good players like them had to resort to that because they were so unaware. You know what? We just decided as our group, we're just going to test everything and test the hell out of it. And
yeah.
And as a result, four of the people in our test group were on that list.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That one in the archives, Jason desperately checked it and got it. That is a rip. Well, I think he decided he didn't have the money to get in that remote. I think that was a good move. Good play.
Yeah.
I do like this unknown meta, though. I think it's going to be exciting and interesting. And I think Worlds has always been its own meta. And I think, not that it's going to, like, people are going to bring their serious stuff, but, like, having King of Servers and the Icebreaker first are going to kind of get people to, like, start playing around and seeing what other people are on, right? But I don't think anyone's going to bring anything severely serious to those.
Right. Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of just, like, kind of off-the-wall stuff.
There is a lot of that in this environment, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting, like, from a spectator's perspective, for sure. Like, I'll just be enjoying watching.
Up to day 2 is pretty tight. It's only 54 players, I think.
Yeah, I'm like pushing real hard because I didn't make day 2 last year. I had a terrible Worlds 2015, and I just haven't put in a good showing at Worlds. So that's my major goal for the year. It's just to do something decent.
Mm-hmm. I think anyone who makes day 2, it's going to be a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah, I would be totally stoked if I made day 2.
Because I think last year day 2 was like 96 or something high, and
yeah,
3 rounds day 2. This is only 2 rounds. It's only going to be 8 total instead of 9.
Yeah.
Oof. Nice grip. Peace in Our Times. Interesting addition.
Yeah, we got some. Definitely has some different cards showing up here right at the beginning. We see Jason's got Enforcing Loyalty in his deck.
Yep.
And a Best Defense.
Is Jason just hard hitting him here? Nope, he's going to score. Give him some money.
Yeah, I think he wants to get that money going first.
Get that out of hand. But he's got the visit, so he can attack with hard hitting on demand here. Man, Beth too. I'm surprised he didn't Peace in Our Times and Beth, because that's usually what you want to do with Tapworm and Beth. Just give them money.
Mm-hmm.
It would force an immediate purge, of course.
Right. So there's a little bit of synergy there with Tapworm and Peace.
Maybe he just didn't want to run because he is worried about hard hitting. Who knows? He should be. RKO. Very intriguing. What is he going for here? I gotta look at the list.
Okay, so Peter couldn't play Peace in Our Time because
he scored the agenda.
Jaden scored an agenda.
I always forget the drawback. Because he scored the hostile, right? Thank you. Oh. You're going for the hard hitting? He didn't run, dude. Uh-oh. Jason's on 1 green beans. Can you believe that? 1 beanstalk royalty. Yeah, I don't know what was he going for here? Oh, he thought he had fast track. You know what? Yeah, he's not on hard hitting either. What does he have the consulting visit for? Isn't that bizarre? Just for a boom, I guess.
Yeah.
Or archive memories. I don't know. Very, very interesting list. There's a lot of strange stuff in it. This enforcing loyalty for sure. Letting the tapeworm roll out. I'm pretty hard on the side of purging those as soon as possible.
Yeah, that was my immediate reaction when I came back to the game and saw that was a card, and I just instantly purged whenever I saw it. It was I treated it like Imp or Lamprey or something like that. It was seemed like an instant purge.
Yeah, even worse. I have it above those because I'm just to me it can be more problematic, and it just festers and no pun intended, and grows as you leave it. And now look, you allowed him to set up for the SatCon here. Unless you just want to rush through it, but then you're basically giving them as much money as they need the rest of the game, which I have a problem with.
I'd like to talk about Beth right now. I have to say it's one of my favorite cards in the game. It's an amazing card.
Super good. Yeah, I mean, we've even been splashing it in a few decks. Even at 3 influence, it's just that good. Because especially with Econ's so limited on the runner side, it's really nice to have in an Anarch deck.
Even just as a one-off, it's just super impactful.
Right. I think you have a lot of draw in those decks where you can find her pretty quick.
All right, so we got a Makers goes down, and wow, we got a big turn for Peter.
That is a rip.
We got a Project Atlas, an Oaktown scored, and he trash boom. So that's about as good as it gets on a Makers.
Yeah. Hostile in hand, a game in hand. He's just gonna rush it out. He just can't. It's too vulnerable. Nope. A lot of walkbacks here. I'm a little surprised at the sloppiness. Okay. Oh, he overwrote the remote. I see. Yep. The Yale is in there. Gotta leave the Yale. We get some good money off these hostels with it. Jason. Look at that. Peter's money just cranking away here. Well, so Peter is on the clone chip. Yeah, okay, he's not on Aesop. So yeah, he went the other route that I thought you'd go with for Haley. Mm-hmm. I don't know which one's better. The clone chip definitely makes it easier to clod, I feel like. Letting it go because he has another one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a more versatile card than something like SatCon, which you end up running if you don't have it.
It's just become a SatCon meta. I think he runs both just in case of the tapeworms. It prolongs the tapeworms, but
right, and you got a lot of Wayland Ice trashing programs, so you can always face check one of those. And
yep, a lot of Marcus Batty out there right now. Going for the win here. Got it, slammed it. That's the way to beat him. Just smash it hard. I don't know if I GG that one. All right, going to game 3. Are you randomizing this? Do they randomize?
I can do it for them if they want me to.
And this is where you're seeing the variance in the Titan decks. I mean, they can be good, but any fast advanced deck can just be like a slot machine and just come up poor.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean that's definitely been my experience with it. Is that I feel like I'm either crushing people or getting crushed the majority of the time.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Jason's gonna run.
Okay.
So we're gonna get a rematch of the first match.
Mm-hmm. Let me honestly ask, do you find that this is a harder meta for a runner or a corp, or do you have no idea?
I'm not sure yet. I personally feel, I don't know. I feel runner feels harder for me, but I don't feel confident enough in predicting that's actually the case.
Yeah, everyone was crying wolf over the loss of Jackson Howard, but I do feel like with the amount of econ that they've taken away from the runners, and you have to deal with everything from fast advance to asset spam, that it's much harder for a runner right now.
Yeah, and I think that the variety of corp selection and strategies makes it even harder because there's just so many things that you have to worry about, I think.
Yes, like you have to worry about CI, you have to worry about this, you have to worry about Gagger. You have to worry about Mushin Notion out of Kentucky.
Right. Yeah, I mean, how are you going to deal with a sideways Gagarin, a fast advancing Titan, a CI deck, and also you have like Jinteki decks
Obokata.
With Obokata. Like, how are you going to deal with Obokata? Like, it's just...
Yeah.
I definitely feel much more challenged on the runner side. I think with the corp, like, I feel like I could just take a corp that I'm already like happy about, like today, and then just like tune it for the next 3 weeks and feel good. But with runner, I kind of feel like I still don't know. I have no idea.
No, that's fair. Well, I think with the less employee strike out there, the corp can more dial into their game plan and just execute it. Whereas the runner has to be, like you said, available to tackle the array of options out there, and it's interesting.
Yeah. All right, so let's go and jump into this game. Always exciting when we get a game 3.
Game 3 is fun. Looks like a good start for Jason.
So based off of the first game, do you have any opinion on who you think's favored as far as like deck choice goes?
Not really. Peter's got a good money start. I think getting Titan scored is kind of like the Astro. That's such a big deal. And if he doesn't see them early, it will hurt. And this start looks really good for Jason. I think the stim hack was actually kind of a surprise leveler, and I think now Peter has to be aware of that when he's rushing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's looking really good. Oh, he mulliganed out of that. Interesting. I thought he was going to keep the Aesop in the daily casts. Apparently he didn't like that.
Yeah, it's hard to let go of a hand with Aesops in it.
With money, I think maybe he's looking for Proco and SMCs as opposed to the Aesops early, but either way, there's a ton of money in that deck, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a decent spot with the 2 SMCs out already and a Procon.
I'd say. Having the Aesop here would be really nice too, but you can't have it all.
Yeah, I mean... as Dan kind of pointed out on the stream, having the SMC out stops them from fast advancing.
Or not. You can let it go. The problem is you don't want to pull the clot too early because with no clone chip, like we noted, that's it. It's committed. So, but you're right. It does threaten down the road here. I think Peter's just going to try to push an Atlas here at some point, looking like right now. And he probably wishes he had a priority construction here, but he can put both pieces of ice if you really wanted to. Leaving R&D wide open. Jason's just digging. He maybe should attack. He just doesn't have any multi-access really right now to push. That's where Peter got him, just ripped him with some Maker's Eyes continually. I mean, that's good too in this environment. Like maybe if you're unsure as a runner, just run a lot of like Maker's Eyes and legworks and just pound them. Because the corpse it can't hide agendas as easily.
Yeah.
Unless they're on Wampoa. I've been trying out some Wampoa and it's pretty solid.
Yeah. No, I think I played a game the other day, and I won a game where I only ran. I think I ran 3 times, and I did DDM twice for 5 cards and a legwork, and that's how I won the game. So multi-access is always a good strategy.
No doubt. I've been losing a lot of games to indexing Mad Dash followed with a legwork, and 1 turn you're like, oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, and that could be a little bit of a sign of the Jackson.
Yes.
The Jackson issue.
I think that kind of levels the playing field, which is nice, because without that, if there was still Howard in the environment, the corpse would be crushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this is going to be a costly run.
Yeah, I think corpse would definitely be dominating right now if Jackson was still in the game.
For sure. I don't think he can afford to get the blade to get through this, though. Could he? Let's see. He could try it. 2, 4... 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he could definitely get in. Does he want to go flat below? So there's the nanotech. If you take a look, it's pretty solid, but nope, the side's against it. But you see in this situation, expensive 3 to boost against that Colossus. Yep. He decided he wasn't risking it, and it's going to cost him because it was an Atlas. I know it's not the same as having Astros, but this is still pretty legit because they have a lot of tools. I mean, Trickle Light, Audacity, and Biotics.
Yeah, it's one of those decks where I feel like once they get on 5 points, you're pretty screwed.
It's pretty bad, exactly. And all the fast advanced tools are very cheap, which is really nice. I mean, Fastro decks, and Sand cost 6. That was nothing to sneeze at.
Mm-hmm.
Handsome Rose, really nice ad. I didn't really consider that at first, but it just really facilitates a lot of the tech in this deck.
Yeah, it's a good economy card. Four to trash too, so it's not easy to trash these days in this wizardless runner landscape.
No. Yeah. 1 res for trash. That's living the dream. So I always used to push your luck art for my JNet background. Ooh, coming in with a stim hack. Not letting this one go. Sadly, this is not an agenda. And I've got your face up here, and I put it over the push your luck guy's face, Greg. So consider that a great honor.
I'm honored.
I just love blithely leaving R&D open. Not scared, not worried.
Well, he's got an Atlas counter, so if he gets indexed, he can shuffle.
Yes. We've lost some good ways to shuffle up the deck, on the runner's turn, but that is a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Boot Camp, Shannon Claire. There are a few still out there that are fun to use because, Spy Cam is a problem. Find the Truth is out there. There are a number of ways the runners have to still take advantage of indexing.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to have some options. I found that Executive Boot Camp, that's a great usage of it right now. Second remote.
Yeah, and now we got a lot of cards where you're stuffing stuff on the bottom of the deck now, so that shuffling is I guess it's, I don't know, if you get could be a random showing off. Probably not.
I don't know. I think showing off's never been better, right? With Daily Business Show and Wampoa.
Yeah, I mean, if you were gonna make a case for showing off, now's your your best shot.
And then you combo with the turning wheel to really get that deep dig underneath.
Yeah, trust me. Every game against Gagarin, I'm like, God, I wish I had a turning wheel showing off right now.
I'm getting older here, Greg. I'm an old guy, and showing off and turning wheel, that's the prostate exam right there. That's the deep dive. So what does he have in this remote here? I missed it. What is pushing there? It forced the clot.
Hostile.
Hostile? Yeah. Okay, why the second remote? Why not just push that out in the main remote?
That's a good question.
Just has ice to throw around, I guess? I don't know. Just didn't want to clog it up. Maybe wasn't thinking. I gotta go back and look here. We're busy chatting here. He put it straight in server 2. Maybe just a habit. Maybe he wanted to lure the clot out. Maybe he wants to get rid of it. He knows Jason's not on clone chip, right?
Yeah, like maybe he just is like, all right, I'll sack 1 point to get the clot out.
Yep, because once he purges through here, it's gone. Oh, there's a scavenge, I'm guessing, but that's it. Scavenge is already gone. He doesn't know how many he's on.
Yeah, I don't think this Parisia is going to do a whole lot of work.
It's an Aesop cell, is what it is.
Yeah, there you go. Zero cost.
Zero cost. It's a free install. That's the nice thing of running that in Haley with Aesop, that worst case you can sell it.
Yeah.
I don't think he really needs to go for this GFI. He could. I'm surprised he doesn't just pull in an Atlas and protect HQ, right? Maybe that would... Or just put another piece of ice on the remote. I guess he doesn't have the money right now, but...
Yeah, so Sam noted in stream that he made that second remote to test Sai because he put a code gate out there. And Jason responded with the Gordian blade.
I see. That's a good call. I think Jason was probably going to just go with the Gordian regardless, because he's got to attack multiple servers here. He has so many MU.
Yeah, and it's not like there's a DNA tracker or something like that you just absolutely don't want to really break with Gordian.
Right. Even if they stack, you're fine with the Gordian. Like the wormhole, if that comes down, it's like you're going to be fine. This is not the matchup you want the Sai. He almost has to go through this remote every time. He did this last time. I like this. Attacked HQ. Sadly, nothing there for him, really. Wait, the Mausolus are in here, too. But that's not an ice you're really going to break. He might. Said, I'm not a fan of breaking that ice, because whatever. There it is. You'll clear the tag on the last click. Yeah, listen to Sam. You should have him on. He's much better than me. He cooked me up last week. They weren't even games. Not even close. I was so distraught I had to stream CTM for the next 2.5 hours.
I watched that actually.
Oh, okay, nice. Hopefully it was enjoyable.
I like it. I like the deck. It's an interesting deck.
That AR enhanced security is quite an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that makes CTM quite viable right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if there's going to be some NBN lists that sneak in there at Worlds and do well, I should say.
Yeah, I think there are definitely some good options out there.
I think sometimes when something happens like what happened to NBN, when you get just kind of gutted, people's first reaction is to just play something else, but that doesn't mean that there's not some good options in there.
Totally. And people underestimate it. Not that there's a ton of tech, but if you don't have ways to avoid tags and things like that, and ones are hard.
I feel like there's not a lot of tag defense.
Misdirection is probably the most common tool I've been seeing.
Yeah.
does he have here? Ooh, we have IP block. Nice piece of ice. Suppose Jason just let him trace. Don't waste the counters. Nice hit. Yeah, at this point, with no opt in out, just take the trace 3. He has the money as a bad pub. Oh man, that's kind of a misplay. Yeah, that's the downside of IP block, that it's really not a huge tax if there's no AI out. Ooh, this is spicy. Close the counts. If you could land that.
Right. It's 2 to break with paperclip and
3 with a clip.
Oh, 3 with the clip. That's right.
3. So it's like a 3 either way with no link. But there's a bad pub out. Man, yeah, if he could land a hard hitting here, not going to happen. Jason's on too much money. Jason realizes the remote's probably fine for now. And that's the GFI, right? Is that where you ducked it? Yep.
So if this Colossus was, Josh pointing out that if he advances Colossus one more time,
yep,
it would be, not only would it be, it adds the parenthetical text to the subs, but it costs $3 more to break.
Yes. I think when you're looking at those variable strengths and the pumping, like whenever I'm facing MK Ultra with the Colossus, you always have to be aware of that. Like, if I can advance it one more, here we go. Mm-hmm. Nice. Got the GFI, got there.
So you use the Trick of Light.
And the Audacity. Yeah. Good move. That's the way to do it. Never advance it out.
Deng gonna check archives just in case.
Yep, he's got to check everywhere now. Now he's got to try and lock it a little here in R&D. He's got the turning wheel. Yeah, I'm always aware of those, like I was saying, because it's like, if I can spend one more to make it pay 3 every time you come in, that's well worth it.
Right. Anytime you can skew the math in your favor, that's good.
Right.
I think that's actually a great way to look at things too, to just like break each little individual thing down like that. What does it cost me and what does it cost them?
Exactly. So like if he advances the Colossus two times, then it costs him 3 more to get in.
Yeah, I think sometimes you get a little bit of tunnel vision when you're trying to execute. Usually you have something in mind that you're trying to execute, and you may not survey the whole board and see every little possibility.
That most definitely. And there's also you're taking into account, your deck hopefully and the tempo of it, and you just see Peter right now, he's dead broke. So it's hard to justify advancing the ice when you don't have any money yourself. There's the trope. He is almost out of deck. Actually, that'd be a great way to get the clock back too. Because surprised Peter maybe isn't going for some purging right now, right? This seems like a good time because you can win on a hostile. Does he have 3?
Right. He's got the Atlas counter.
He only has the 2. Both are on 2. So he actually does need money.
Oh, so there's no hostile on the deck, so that's why he's not purging.
He'd have to win on a fast advanced Atlas, so he needs one of those 2 pieces in money essentially right now, and no clot. Still wouldn't be a bad idea to purge, right? When you don't have anything to worry about in hand, right? These are the moments I don't mind wasting a turn to get rid of that.
Sure.
What's the other game? Never advancing? I think Jason would have to check the remote every time from now on. There goes the lady.
Yeah, he's got the priority, so he can get he can get an advanced Colossus on the remote,
which is really good. That's really solid.
So he may be looking to do that and then try to never advance something.
I do think that's one of the better parts of that card, the ignoring all costs, right? You can just throw it on the outside of a remote.
Yeah, you can slap it on like the 4th ice, and it's just it's ridiculous.
Yeah, crazy. Great card.
Yeah, I think that's one of those cards that, you put back in with preemptive and late game. It can really make a big difference when it shows up and you've already got a 2 or 3 ice on your remote.
It's one of those well-designed gaming cards. He has some, he has quite a few of those. I think people underestimate. They always think of the broken cards and they think of the absolutely terrible cards, but there are a lot of like just strongly solid cards like that in CTM that he made, right? That are just good. Like CTM wasn't broken, I don't think. It was the politicals that were broken.
Mm-hmm.
Time to trope. I always love that card.
Trope?
Yeah, I always thought it was fun. I even ran it max back in the day as like an additional levy backup.
It's just very clunky.
It is, but you know what the nice thing of it is, Greg, especially when you get that deck low, especially like when Max, she's burned herself up. When you fire it, now you basically set up your stack so you can instantly grab like it was siphons or whatever,
Yeah.
So like if he needs clot and all that, whatever he needs, it's going to be right on top of the deck once he burns through. It's great for a long game. Great if he has to battle like long asset spam game or something like this. It's turn 15. That's a long game for a fast advanced deck.
It's usually a sign that you're going to lose, but we'll see.
Usually, or you're trying to hold out for the win here. The priority construction is really nice.
Yeah.
Surprised he's attacking HQ. What is he thinking is there? You'd think that he'd be hiding it in the remote if he was worried about a GFI or something. He wants another pull up. Okay. Or did he not play that before? Does he have two? No, I think he accidentally played it before. I remember we saw it. Yeah, that's the play. The two towers strategy here, right? Protect R&D and protect the remote.
Right, and you just shove anything that you draw.
Now that those priority constructions are a liability, this is the problem of three of them. I guess I was running two because I didn't like this aspect if you got them stacked up. I guess you want to see them early though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd just be such a huge tempo boost at the beginning of the game.
Yep, if he keeps up the turning wheel attack here, he can keep a good lock on R&D. There you go. And now he's taking the traces, finally. But here's a time, though. Now, here's where I disagree. He should, unless he's jacking out, Inti holds strength. This is where you'd probably pump the Inti and run through.
Right.
Instead of taking two trace threes. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking it's the same difference. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I guess he's saving 2 credits. He did the math. Peter's not pumping. $20 cards left. How many agendas are left in this deck? It's got to be getting slim.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a 10 agenda build, so 1/4 agendas in that deck. Yeah. Can you see 3 cards? Pretty good here. Just every third turn, just lock them up here. Now that is a mechanical keyboard.
Yep. Look at the clack. It's not even the loud one.
You have an extra loud keyboard?
No, I don't have one with blues. Blues are the ones that are like...
Yeah. Yes.
I use browns, so they're kind of a hybrid.
Okay.
It's my StarCraft days.
Nice. I was at work the other day talking online, or talking on someone on the phone, customer service, and they're like, "You have a loud keyboard and type very quickly and strongly." That's true. I like the Harbinger out of Haley too. He's going with both Cash and the Harbinger.
Yeah, I like it.
0 on you. Coming again. Is he just going to build counters here? 2 credits to build a counter? Ugh. Yep. It sucks, but it might be worth it. He's got to get the lock on, keep the lock up. So that means seeing 3 deep here next turn. There you go. Nice. Harbinger time. At some point, do you think Peter tries to just pull an agenda to break the lock and just rush the remote like when Jason's poor like this? Do you think he risks it? He knows Jason still has a stim hack, right?
Yeah, he knows he's on stim hack, so he's only got 2 cards. Yeah, I mean he's.
But here's where now we're talking about that ignore all costs would be nice, right? He has 2 of those. Maybe if he can get some ice, he could build like a 5 ice remote where it'd be too tough to get in, regardless of stim hack.
Yeah. Well, he's got all the Colossus on the board already.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know the 3rd one's out. But what else he got? I mean, a fully juiced up Mausolus would be nothing to sneeze at either in there.
Mm-hmm. True.
The wormhole's in the bin. Does he run this turn? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's building up even more. I don't know if he has the money to get in this turn. What do we determine it takes? 6. That's if he doesn't pump one of the traces. The Colossus, the 1 pump on the Colossus was not enough. What's that strength 4? So that was good, actually. That cost, it got him out of range. The nanotech strength 4 when it runs.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, that 3 to pump is pretty ugly.
Yeah, so the IP block ended up helping Jason farm these tokens because he couldn't have done that on the Colossus.
No, you're right. Exactly. Kind of a necessary evil to help keep him out. Otherwise, maybe the checks would be too easy. But you're right. Now, when Jason would, I think, would just build him on the Mausolus, but that's not easy either, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oof. He's got to dig here, I think. Trashing the Inti. Peter can pump those traces.
So obviously purging out of the question at this point with the 3 Satcons, but
yes,
if he would have purged earlier,
yes,
he would have been in a good spot.
That's what I was saying. If you would have seen the scavenge down, and when there was 1 Satcon, he had some turns when he had 1 or 2 cards in hand, he could have pushed it through. Once the 2nd Satcon hits, then yeah, forget it.
Yeah.
So now he has to kind of score through the remote, so he's gonna have to priority construction something here. Ugh.
Well, he got to hoard him, which
Maybe do you force a run here? Oh no! Now you're.
seems a strange decision.
I almost felt like I would priority construction. Well, you can't really score. What if you just would have pushed the Hordem there? Because he's only on 3 points and then tried to break him. I don't know. He's on 20 credits now, though.
Yeah, I mean it's the kind of thing where you can put an agenda in, make him pay a bunch of money, and then put an agenda in the next turn.
The problem is we know the stim hack is still there.
Right. Yeah.
And I think Jason just has the lock. He has the money. He has this plot in the Satcons. Like, I think Peter just got locked. Not that Peter has any fast advanced tools in his hand. Here comes the R&D lock. This could be the game for all we know.
Mm-hmm.
There's one. Still 2 more Atlas in the deck. Love the check here. Love the aggressiveness. Give him the credit. Nope, he only spent 2. He's given. We only broke 2 of those subs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there.
Okay. So you wanted to break 3. You just made him.
I just wanted to confirm here.
That's good.
I don't know. I don't know what the play here is. That's a good priority construction target. Wouldn't be a bad window to try and score. The problem is the stim hack, and it's the game now.
Yeah, so now he's got to be sure that he can't get in.
This is where Never Advance would be nice if he had like Anson Rose. He could pretend it was an Atlas or threaten it or mark it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to check it.
That's why I like Jason's on 3 Anson Rose and a Mark Gale. Those are some great Never Advance targets.
So looks like Peter's just going to keep purging.
Yep, and hope he can outrace Jason's digs into R&D. Jason might just pluck it out here. He's building tokens. He's checking just in case. He probably smells one in there because there are only 12 cards left, and Peter's been kind of sitting back. There you go. He won the game there last time.
Yeah, I mean, he knows that, especially if Peter's starting to purge, he might get a feeling that, Peter's worried about, he's got an agenda in his hand that he could win the game with potentially.
Yeah, he knows it's a race, and he knows the hard hitting could come down again here at any point. He's low enough on credits, he'd get slammed.
I feel like once he can see 3 cards, he might use the turning wheel.
Yeah, maybe. He may be saving it for R&D, I feel like. Yeah, he can stim hack in and use it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's got to keep the lock on if he really wants to make sure that he pulls it out.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay, so this could get good for him if he jams out in the remote. Especially since Jason's on 2 credits. I don't know, maybe if he jams in the remote, Jason feels like, oh, he thinks I can't get in, But
lures out the stim hack.
Yeah.
Jason might go the other route and just stim hack R&D and try and get the win here. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe like an HQ check and then stim hack R&D. Or well, I guess he can't do that. He's not enough money.
He can just take the hit from the Mouseless completely.
Yeah.
Might hit the other stim hack. Yeah, he hate to lose what he has in his hand. I don't think he wants to do that. Maybe he stim hacks them both. Yeah, tough call here. You hate to just like if you don't run the remote and you lose, it feels like you're like striking out without swinging. It always feels bad.
Well, especially if he burns the stem hack on the remote, he may actually lose the other stem hack to brain damage.
That's true too. You may want to draw first. Just one more Proco use here.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what it is. He troped in. Thinking, yeah, we know you are. We didn't think you fell asleep. Plan on having the winner in?
If they want to, well, Peter's actually he's supposed to join us for the commentary on the next match.
Right.
So
that's right.
They can both come on if they want, and then. But I feel like it's already almost 9, so we probably got to get the other match started pretty quickly.
Probably. It's Dan's on the East Coast, right? So I don't know. What do you think the play here is? I almost I almost feel like you'd want that other turning wheel counter and maybe just go for R&D.
It's tough. I mean, I think realistically, it's one of those things where like Jason should probably know that Peter's not going to put an agenda in there, right?
Well, I mean, he can't fast advance though, so unless he purges through. So even if he drew the Atlas, he kind of have to do this, and he's kind of selling it with the advancing. He double advanced the Colossus.
I'm trying to think if he saw. I'm trying to remember back to the last turning wheel run on R&D and whether or not he saw. I guess he didn't see the Anson Rose.
It's interesting. Just breaking. Oof. Maybe go and tag me. I'm surprised he didn't advance that other Colossus at least once in the remote, but that's up to him. It pushes it up in the boostable range. Nice. There it is. So that's how you get a counter. You just take a tag, Greg. It's pretty easy. At this point, I guess he doesn't really care about a tag. He'd lose the turning wheel, though. He doesn't clear, which he can't clear. Doesn't want to get another tag for Boom, though. Here it is, going for it. Now here, don't you think Peter should pull up one of the agendas? Although he has one click left, he'd probably attack HQ. He did it.
Yeah, he does it.
Wow.
Always.
Well, Jason's just going to run it our HQ regardless, then, I would think.
Jason pulls it out.
It was the right call. I think you had the stim hack R&D there.
Yeah.
I think that was right.
We'll see if we can get. Well, we know Peter's coming on, so maybe Jason will join us too.
Oh, is he on 3 stim hacks? Did I miss that? I thought it was 2.
Yeah, I think he's on 3.
Yeah, that's legit. It gives Shaper the ability to get in at any time. He's on 2. He's on 2.
Oh, he's on 2. Okay. Oh, he troped 1.
He troped it back, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I thought he was on 2.
Should have felt like he was on more. Smart move.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start introducing the next game while we wait for them to join up and chat. So up next, we have Dan Spinosa, a.k.a. CodeMarvelous. Dan was a top 8 regional competitor this year in DC. He's also, I know that he missed out on the Worlds ticket. I saw that in the stem hack thread or something like that, but he ended up getting one when they reopened, so we'll be seeing Dan at Worlds. It seems like from what I can tell, he's been putting in a lot of work. He's streaming a ton, and he's got his YouTube channel, which is Self-Modifying Code. I'll put a link to that in the video when I put this up on YouTube, so you should definitely go check out his channel. You probably already have. He's got a ton of subscribers, and yeah, I think he's doing pretty good on the stream game. So he's going to be playing Scorpios and Smoke. I feel like he's been working on Smoke for quite some time. Like, it seems like he's been working on that one for a while.
Definitely. I think he's always been a Shaper player at heart.
Yeah. And then we're also, let's see, we got Dan versus Sam Suied. Sam is crushing it this year. He won North American Championship. He won the Tulsa Regional, which is one of the tougher regionals to win. I can attest to that one. I go to that one every year, except for this year. He also won the San Antonio Regional. So Sam is definitely having a solid year, and I think he's probably one of the top contenders for Worlds this year. And he's going to be playing Polana and Null. All right, looks like we got some people joining us. Hey guys, what's up? Good games.
Hey.
Well played.
Thanks.
Hello. Yes. Well played. I mean, it comes down to the coin flip, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it goes sometimes.
You mean like you don't think Titan could win any of those matchups?
I was saying in the chat with Peter, I think basically in your opening hand, you need priority construction, a piece of ice, and Atlas. If you have those 3 cards in your opening hand, you have a shot. And that assumes that the Haley does not have a self-modifying code, and in my case, I have StimHack. But yeah, I think it's really, really tough. I thought Peter played a really, really good game in game 3. My opening was pretty rough. I could not really contest the early remote, but yeah, once you get clot lock up, it's really, really difficult for Titan. Like you can't really spend turns purging.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I should have started to purge earlier, but I think I can't remember the exact game state, but I felt like I was like low on credits and couldn't.
Yeah, Peter, I think you had a window. You were down after the Audacity, I believe. You were down to 2 cards in hand or 1, and you had 2 credits, but he only had the 1 SatCon. You know he's not on clone chip. I thought that was the moment you could have taken a few turns to clock it out before you got the other SatCons.
Yeah, I think that might have been the right call, is to start purging a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I think the chat was screaming for purges.
Fair.
Once the 2nd and 3rd SatCon hit, it like not even worth it, it feels like.
Yeah, I was just kind of dirtling at the end to kind of look for an out, and so I started to purge, thinking maybe I can purge, get through it, and get lucky on R&D. But I kind of knew that was not going to be a winning strategy.
Not with the turning wheel.
No, I just had to get lucky.
Yeah, I thought the other option is maybe you could have like pushed that Oaktown at some point to try and break his econ and just give him some points, but he has the stim hack, so.
Yeah, see, I was at a bit of an advantage because I knew Jason has 3 stim hacks in that Haley deck. So I knew there was no window for a remote play. That's why I jammed the Anson Rose in there to try to open up a window, because I told Jason in the chat I could get 2 stim hacks with 1 basically, because he would brain damage another one away, but yeah, he didn't bite. He made the right decision and went for R&D.
Yeah, I actually brought up during the game. I brought up how you were commentating last week when Jason was playing. So and I think Jason even said, "Don't cut your stem hacks from Shaper." So
it's 9 credits for you don't have to worry. Here's the problem with Core 2 not having Scorched Earth, right? Like, my HP is from a 5 to 1. It's irrelevant.
Yeah, people aren't really too worried about their hand size, because if you're gonna get killed, you're gonna get boomed anyways. So it's like, there's some difference between having 5, 4, 3 cards.
Yeah, this is something that I've talked about previously with other newer players, right? You have to use you should be using all of your resources in Netrunner, and one of those resources that the game has given you is hand size. You can afford to lose hand size in order to get something insane like 9 credits. And so even early game, I'll choose to stim hack even if I know I can get into a remote, because of the hard-hitting use threat, right? So the real credits matters more to me than the 1 hand size, because, all right, whatever, this is why the whole O2 shortage comment is dumb, right? It's like, no, hand size is certain. Like, I have a lot of times cards in my hand that I don't need, and so taking a brain damage is, I'll gladly take it for any number of credits or whatever.
Yeah, there was I don't know if it was our first game or our second game, but you used stim hack to keep yourself above hard-hitting news range, and I was quite annoyed and impressed.
Yeah, it's even in Worlds 2016, a bunch of us who were playing Shapers still, even in the CTM meta, said we should bump up stim hack from 1 to 3, and just early game stim hack their senses, because you cannot let Sensi fire. It's not Like you'll take the brain every time.
And you can pay for
the dodge the tag from CPI.
Exactly. That you can pay for the trace. And yeah, like Aaron, with his dirt okayed at Worlds last year, same thing where like you need something because otherwise they're going to rush on you because they know you're slow. So the stim hack balances that out. Yeah, I think that's a great call in this meta. You're discounting though. You have all that brain damage. Punitive Counter-Strike, Jason. It's in the meta.
Okay. I mean, if I start getting punitive, maybe I'll start thinking about my life choices. But
I got killed by a punitive today, so it is out there. All right. Well, which either you? I know Peter, you were going to plan to stick around for the next match. Jason,
yeah, I can hang around.
You're welcome to stick around if you'd like. It's up to you.
Sure, I'll stick around this time.
All right, let's do it. I think I need to get you guys the password, or do you? It's the same password as your game.
Yep, I'm already in.
Okay, cool. Well, let's do it. All right. Good luck, have fun has been exchanged.
Oh, Sam actually switched his decks this week.
He did. He's on the San Francisco null, I'm guessing. Wonder where they got that. He was extremely pissed when Joseki published that, so I'm guessing they stole it from him. Just like they took that Gagger in. Not that was a magical deck of dance, but nice rush.
It was the obvious. It was the opposite of of a secret deck from Dan, because
obviously
that was back when he was still publishing not publishing, but he was posting his decks on Meteor, and his Meteor account wasn't like people just have it bookmarked over.
Yeah.
Well,
I think the Brits were checking it every time he updated it. So.
Well, I remember every year before Worlds, I would be all over Dan's Meteor, just like seeing what's going on. He's always have his decks on.
Card for card forever 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was like, I always respected that about Dan. He just was always the kind of player that was like, I don't have any secrets. Like, you can see what I'm doing, and I'm still gonna beat you. I definitely have a lot of respect for that kind of attitude.
Yeah, sure, Dan's down for the public deck list in the top 16.
Yeah.
So this Dan here, is he not going to use his Scorpios ability, or I guess he doesn't care about these cards that Sam's thrown away?
Yeah, I think he's just trying to be patient and make sure he gets like good hits, but yeah, at least hit a little bit here and there. Especially, you want to hit that. I guess there's nothing really to revive a DDoS anymore, is there? I was going to say Deja Vu, but that's gone.
Jason had a card that could have revived the DDoS.
Well, it took a while to use it.
It worked.
It kind of seems like that Scorpios, it might have lost something because of all the recursion that's gone. Like it's like a lot of cards are getting played that have no opportunity to come back.
No, but there's a paperclip discard that he's missing.
Yeah,
No, discard's fine. You can't hit discard.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I have not actually played against or used Scorpios. It was in that time that I was not playing. So.
Yes. Anything but the discard phase for the runner can be hit.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm guessing, I don't know what his restricted card is. I would think it would be Levy, so I would probably slice stuff out here. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, in our restriction cards, there's not too many options. Employee strike, maybe. But yeah, probably Levy.
He's actually running 3 Magnum Opus.
Oh, he's Tag Me. That makes sense, of course. He's a Tag Me deck, so that's his backup econ outside of Mars for Martians.
Opus? I don't know. That makes any sense.
What? What do you mean it doesn't make sense?
Does it come into play before you take 1 million tags?
Yeah, as you're taking those million tags, you can just clock for money. Just keep clicking for creds. Get the God of War out.
Because God of War is so terrible.
You just get 2 God of Wars sitting there, yeah, and you just build and then you power run. You can draw cards up so you don't get killed.
Okay.
He's already got 4 points before he's even had to do anything magical.
I suppose it's because all of the combo cards for counter surveillance are in Anarch already, so you sort of have the influence to spend.
Yeah, definitely.
So we see Dan's restricted card is Hunter Seeker.
Yeah, I think pretty much out of Scorpios, it's going to be that or GFI. Usually Hunter Seeker.
Chat.
Oh yeah, I never got to employ my new cards against Peter. I played the card to the tutor card for fast track, but I cut the fast track for the best defense, which was in my hand.
Yes.
And so I was like,
Look at your list.
Turns out I'm an idiot.
I was wondering why you even had consulting visit looking at your list. Like, what were you getting? You didn't even have hard hitting.
Often I consulting visit priority construction. That card is so bonkers.
Sure.
Like,
I really considered it a couple times. I think I had a consulting visit and I was kind of waiting for a Pryco.
Spend your whole turn. It is that good, right?
Is that good?
Yeah. It's because what happens is generally you're okay with installing even the 3rd ice, but that 4th ice just costs too much.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can Pryco that the savings, that's like 9 credits.
Totally.
Right?
I brought that up on the stream, how not only is it emotion, but that ignoring all costs is super clutch on that card.
So the Sam's got his max hand size is increased due to Obelisk, but it turns out Dan is not actually running any boom, so
yeah. It's pretty standard for Scorpios.
Guess what? In the cut, everyone will know you don't have boom, so screw you.
Yeah. Are you kids fans of that or not?
I have kind of no strong opinion. I'll play with whatever happens, and it's kind of unlikely I'll be in the cut anyway. But I play pretty standard decks without too much spicy tech, so it doesn't really hurt me. But I definitely can see how some people could be really effective. So I'm of 2 minds, so I kind of just let other people fight it out.
My opinion on it was I was sort of neutral on one way or the other. But the only opinion I did have was that I felt like if they were going to do it in the top cut, why not do it on day 2 also? Because it seems like day 2 is small enough that people are going to have a pretty decent amount of information on the decks at the top tables. But I don't know. I've also heard a couple people's opinions say that they didn't necessarily think that would be the case. So not really like feeling super strongly about that opinion. It was just kind of a thought.
So I know personally, anyone who knows me as a player knows that I change my deck list at the last minute before every tournament. But it affects me positively and negatively. I almost never scout. And so this is definitely going to help me from the standpoint that now I don't have to scout to know my opponent's deck lists. And hurt me from the standpoint that if I make a really dumb cut, and people can, or whatever, they can, pressure me that way. But, my only sadness is that FFG has no idea how to communicate anything to their players.
It was just a footnote, right?
Yeah, that's an issue.
First of all, it's not even an announcement. And second of all, why 3 weeks before Worlds? I don't understand. Like, just trial this next year. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Try it in the regional season or something first. And
Yeah.
They need a PR guy or something. Or gal.
I'm not a fan in the fact that it's not really comparable to other games. We've talked about it in our test group. And it's an asymmetrical game that uses hidden knowledge. It's not like Magic or something where you have like equal footing. Like we're both playing lands and we're playing spells and creatures, and so I think knowledge is pretty big. Like one of our test guys, he almost made top 16 last year. He was on 2 clone chip out of Orvar Haley, I believe, or I forget, or Caster. And people were counting on that 3rd clone chip. And sometimes that knowledge, that card counting can make the difference.
All right, so here we see the big counter surveillance turn.
Yep. It's a good time to go for it.
Yeah, Dan's made no impetus to score, so you don't think he's got anything in HQ. So you know where they're all at.
Wow, he's playing Shrike too. Shrike, this card I've seen a lot more as well.
I wonder why. So see, Dang, this is why you're on Opus, because you just build up a ton of money, and when you power run, you don't care what it costs for God of War, right? You just blast it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if it's been tested that you really need the money, I could see.
You do. Well, God of War is 2 to pump 1. So
no, I know, but a lot of times they just you get out 2 God of Wars as fast as you can, and then you play Mars for Martians, right?
Yeah, you could do that. Or Dean Lister.
Yeah, Dean Lister, right.
I think it's just nice too. You could get your accounts closed. You can climb back at least. Mars for Martians is almost
Mars for Martians.
That's almost entirely going into the counter surveillance, though, right? Usually, you have to pour so much of it right into pumping for that.
No, she's going to let the run end because he won't be able to do the full counter surveillance.
Right. See, if you can't pay for the full counter surveillance, see, this is why you need money, Jason. I know you're simple-minded, but if I'm trying to explain to you, money equals access. Okay.
All right. These baddie decks in Wayland have also gotten very, very popular.
Yeah, I've seen a ton of baddie.
Yeah. What's it called? Wait, does baddie fire the parenthesis? It does, right?
Whatever it's active, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine firing end the run plus search a card in R&D.
Yes. 2 cards. 2 cards, yeah. This is good. He's rushing. He's got to move on him.
Yeah, so now we're going to see a race, and if Sam can credit up before Scorpios can score out, but Scorpios, let's see, he's got to get 1 more score before that biotic is relevant.
I've seen so much baddie this week out of decks. I almost want to run the current. What's the
interdiction?
No, the that's good. The one where they can only bid 0 or 1.
Oh. You gotta play interdiction, or you can play
every second.
I don't know if this is playable, but I've thought about it very recently. Traffic Jam?
I think it's playable.
The one that makes the next agenda of the same name worth 1 additional advancement.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a source, having the source on board.
Yeah.
Because almost everyone's on 2 to 3 of every agenda they're running. Did you kids find yourself missing a 3rd hostile?
Only that 3rd game, did I?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, almost never. I mean, I just concede the Shaper matchup, I think.
Yeah, Shaper is very, very hard.
If I was playing a baddie Titan deck, I would play the 3rd one because then I'm playing Archer.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that was kind of my issue with Titan. As good as it seems, it does seem to have a real rough time against the hate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a typical rush deck. If you get out of the mid game not on 5 points, you're in trouble. If they get all 3 breakers out with money, then there's not much you can do.
Yeah, it's the fact that we're in a SATCON meta, right?
Yeah.
Even before the rush decks didn't really have to deal with SATCONs. now. Now they're everywhere. I mean, it hits Scorpios. It hits a bunch of things.
All right, we're hitting almost half R&D, so let's see if we can pull it out.
It should be it, I would think.
Yeah, you would imagine. I'll get the sapper.
Oof. Yeah, just enough. Yeah, this is a lot to see. Yeah.
There it is. Yep.
That's too much to see.
Yeah. Dan just needed to see him a little bit faster, and he would have a much better shot at that game.
Yeah, this Tag Me deck is good if there's no Tag Punishment out there. You know, no EOIs, no psychographics.
Yeah, even closed accounts would have helped because you just slow him down a little bit. You know, if Dan had closed accounts that second to last turn, then he's back to clicking Magnum a whole bunch.
Yep. Still, that's why you want that Magnum fallback when you have to climb back.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta play Enforcing Loyalties, gentlemen.
You're gonna exceed that trace. Are you gonna close accounts then hit him with the Enforcing Loyalty? Is that the play?
Oh yeah, bounce the Magnum Opus.
Is it bounce or kill? I thought it kills
I
it.
don't know.
It kills.
Yeah, it's a kill.
I think it's a hatchet job.
Yeah, hatchet's a bounce. Ooh, look at this triple motion. You gotta keep that.
Oh yeah, so we got game 2 going here. We got Polana versus Smoke.
Ooh, feedback filter in the opening can.
Oh, that's
This will be interesting.
That's
What is
probably a
this?
keep.
And a Parisia, interesting. And the Merker. This would be this would be intriguing.
Hey, Mulligan's it. He wants to get the economy.
Indexing,
And a Merker and a Cloak.
Yeah.
just indexing the
Did he
crap
have a
out of
breaker
it.
to use it on?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you need a breaker.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I don't even know if I'd ice this. I think I'd just go for it. Yeah, the indexing boys. Let's see.
Just gonna watch this end right here.
See, despite the fact that indexing is good in this situation, I've been talking. DDM just seems so amazing, like compared to indexing.
I'm hype.
Yeah.
I'm totally hype on DDM. I love it.
I've been a little unimpressed with indexing lately, especially with the Mirage running around.
I mean, DDM's it's pretty much it's definitely one of the best multi-axis cards in the game.
Turning wheel's also pretty good, Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Indexing Mad Dash is still really good, though.
Agreed.
I was upset.
But you gotta
I
get in
finally
twice.
started taking out the cards for my like collection or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, no more freelancing, no more.
Are you crying about that? About Freelancer?
Gets rid of resources.
You know what's better than DDM, though? Stim Hack and the Turning Wheel.
I mean,
Got flashbacks from 20 minutes.
I agree.
Yeah, we felt the pain, Peter, where it's just like every third turn he's just gonna like dig for 3 or 4. It's like, oh, this is ugly. I was wondering if you were gonna use that Alice counter on that run there. You did. It didn't help.
Yeah, that was. I mean, any other time it wouldn't have made sense to have Agent in my hand because you can just hit HQ a whole bunch. But that time I had to at least leave only one in there.
Yeah, you had 1 click left. You had to take the risk.
Yeah.
Oop.
Yeah, we might have to recreate this game.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Janet has the new reconnect feature. Can we use that?
If one of them leaves, I don't know, maybe.
How does that work?
Yeah, if you leave, I don't know. I haven't gotten the reconnect feature to work.
If you leave, there's a rejoin button on the game now, Greg. But right, I haven't seen it work either. I do see they fixed that Mars or the Obelisk counter surveillance when that first came out on JNet. You got to draw the cards as soon as the run was successful.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get Dan to try to rejoin, and if not, I mean, generally in this scenario, it would kind of be up to Sam whether or not he wants to.
Sam has points on the board. I mean, technically, he gets the time to win here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of. I mean, I think it's up to Sam whether.
Yeah, we do a rejoin and see if it worked.
Right, you rejoin. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Hey,
we did it, boys.
hey, time to donate some money.
Yeah, get out your wallets.
All right, everybody,
That's
donate.
awesome.
Donate to Min and JNet.
Maybe a little bit towards Top Deck.
$1 equals one prayer for JNet. It's good to know that feature actually works or can work.
Yeah, that's cool. We had a Top Deck final game that was decided when somebody got disconnected, so that was unfortunate. It was Alex White versus Noah.
Now, I've seen these a lot, these kind of first turn index scenes, and I personally had a lot of them miss. So I'm starting to think, I wonder if it is better to like hold the index scenes for later game when density is a little bit higher and just focus on your remote lock. But
Probably hard not to do it against an open R&D though, right?
Yeah.
We got another disconnect.
It's got the second one in hand too.
Yeah, and this is coming from a version. What did I make her like 3 times against you, Jason, or just 2 really good Maker's Eyes?
I think it was only 2.
Yeah. I mean, the point of that deck is just get a bunch of money and play Maker's Eyes repetitively. Play 6 Maker's Eyes. Yeah.
I mean, that seems pretty good to me.
Yeah.
I saw you on ShadowNet. That was great.
Yeah. So the story of this deck is I didn't like plan this for like great world testing or anything. I just threw it together after playing against it, something similar on JNet. I was like, I wonder if this is pretty good, and it's been running pretty well.
Yeah, because we were talking about the power of StimHack, but with the ShadowNet and Sure Gamble, you have a 2-click StimHack essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, ShadowNet's legit.
Now we get rid of the tape.
There's that Mirage we were talking about.
Yeah. So we saw the first and only indexing in this game.
See, this is what you got to do against Tapeworm. You get rid of it immediately. Jason, you let it just linger. And
whatever. I don't care that he has credits. I just need to rush out.
Yeah.
I don't know, like unlimited credits at that point, I guess. But
it was one of the few games where I could like never play Peace in Our Time. Either I needed to run or Jason had just scored.
Yep. Yeah, I was wondering that the first one when I'm like, why isn't he playing Peace in Our Time? I'm like, someone's like, oh, Greg's like, yeah, the chat says he played the Hostile. I'm like, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I think even that first one, I wanted to run and get the tapeworm down. I can't remember exactly what happened though. There was one time where I just drew 3 times and I was like, I probably should have started with Peace in Our Time or something. Yeah.
There's the Mirage.
Yep, got to get that down.
Yep. Bye-bye.
That card is really good.
Yeah.
I wish that were one influence.
Well,
now the value.
Anywhere.
Yeah, you'd have it everywhere. That's fine. I have had some tech, not in this matchup, obviously, but I've had people where they thought it was going to save them. I just let it fire, and just they were broke. They can't re-res it every time.
Yeah.
Just keep smashing.
CI, I've thought about doing that, but it's never come up yet.
It's like 5, 6
credits. Like on the borderline of that credit level yet.
Right. It's like a mini headlock.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Ugh. This is where the moment you prefer Houdini.
Yeah.
That's how Sam's going to probably try to close it out, right? But the clones aren't dudes.
Yeah.
Solid play. Does he moosh in here?
Gotta motion soon. He's gonna motion out at least one trap, or else the motion Obokata won't be like a credible threat.
Right.
So speaking of clones are not dudes, who's seen the new Blade Runner?
I have not.
I saw it on Tuesday.
Oh,
It was good.
It was amazing. It was so good.
I also have not, but I've heard good things about it.
I liked that they didn't spoil much in the trailers, and when I went into it, it was there was just a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting.
Right. But wouldn't it have been great if they didn't show Harrison Ford at all? Like, it was a complete surprise in the film. That would have been...
Yeah, that's true.
Here we go.
There it is. There's the punitive Counter-Strike.
Yeah. You have to moosh in advance. That's the proper play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the punitive is up.
He's going to go for it. Yep, he's going for it. Woo!
Desperate times. Wow.
And the meat damage from Mad Dash.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's probably the game.
That is game. Neural, Archive, Neural.
Oh, yeah. He has the money for it. Very good.
I really hate this deck.
Not fair. This is why you run infiltration. Smacked. Yeah, punitive Obokata is sick.
Mm-hmm.
With Archive. Got him. Oh, those may have been faster than when he killed me last week.
Coming to a King of Servers near you.
Sam was 10-0 at King of Servers last year.
That's insane. I was happy with a 5-0 Andy deck that included 2 deck outs. Rebirth into Fisk in back-to-back games.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Rebirth Fisk.
All right, well, let's see if we can get one or both of them in here. Chat.
Yeah, two of the highlights to King of Servers last year for me were Sam going 10-0, and then Andrew's going 5-0 with that Val. He didn't bring us a single subroutine all day, and he went 5-0 with it.
What's up?
Just blackmail, hell of a drug.
Hey, Dan, what's up? How you doing, man?
I'm all right. So, Battle of Wits, back to back, first and second rounds. But yeah, no, I mean, I saw the clones are not people, and if that was an agenda, I just lost, so I had to run it.
Yeah.
I couldn't threaten the win any other way.
Yeah. No, that was definitely tough. I think we all had a feeling that that you were gonna have to run it. So.
Yeah. And then on Corp side, the DDoS was good. Everything else was pretty standard, but I think losing the Oaktown early just set me too far behind.
Hello. I don't have a camera.
Oh, okay. Well, it says Sam, so we see you.
It does indeed say Sam.
Trust it.
Could be anyone. But yeah, I'm glad I got to. I'm kind of disappointed that Jesse spoiled it earlier, but that was my World's 2016 Corp deck, and I'm glad I got to play it again.
Wait, did I get to play against the same deck twice in 2 different rounds?
Yeah, we did.
It might have been.
Congrats. Heck infiltrates, man.
In my 40 card deck. If you can find room for infiltrates it in my smoke deck, I welcome it.
Falana's real. I said this on the podcast I said this on a podcast a little while ago, and I brought this to Worlds last year. Like, it's...
Oh, no, it's definitely solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it only got worse with the new cards, right? Like Obokata is...
Yeah, no one likes that.
Oh, did you actually get an agenda? Well, I might still be able to kill you.
Yeah. Well, there's like 7 agendas in the deck, and only one of them isn't infuriating, so... Yeah, it gets a pretty good sweep.
You have 1 Philotic?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm on a 3-pointer. Utopia Fragment, because that's just the most value.
Because he wants to win each other. Yeah.
But yeah.
Good games regardless. Sorry for the disconnect. I don't know what happened. I just jumped into the game, and after I took my first turn, I got the big wall of red.
I've had a lot of weirdness happen with indexing lately. Like, you get hit with indexing, and then JNet freaks out.
Yeah.
This is not the first time I've had, like, a permanent index hover over my R&D.
Well, it was
But yeah,
nice
also the value neural where you got my second copy of indexing. That I was going to use while you still had an open.
I had that turn I double installed ICE. That was Miraju DNA tracker. The reason I did it.
Yeah, the next thing was not going to do anything anymore because Miraju.
Yeah.
It was for Tapworm.
Yeah, I only have the one in this build. But I'm running 3 clones, and I don't have much else to recur program-wise, so I just use that to be annoying.
I can see it. Yeah, I wanted you to be poor because I hoped to fire a punitive, but like after the Peace in Our Time, that was mostly out of the question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a lot of the same stuff that a lot of other shapers are right now. Peace in Our Time and Tapworm to slow down the game because it's either free money or it's a hyperdriver.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a unlucky matchup because I'm perfectly happy with Polana just sitting back and purging every turn until you like run out of recursion.
Yeah, the deck is specifically designed to deal with like Titan and other types of rush because with the 40 card deck, I'm very easily able to get whatever I need to get into any rush remote. With 3 copies of Clone Chip and 3 SMC, I'm setting up very fast.
Yeah. Kind of the same thought on Null. It sets up faster than the other Anarchs, which is why I took it. Having not 50 cards is actually super relevant in Anarch. Like, Alice is super strong right now, but the 50 cards really hurts against Rush.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, the null with the DDoS. I keep forgetting that DDoS doesn't have like 7 MDM.
Dude, I was calling it 10-star null because I have like. This was before it got implemented on JNet, the ban list. It was just like 10 extra influence that would not have been there before.
Yeah.
And yeah, like 3 DDoS and a David, and you're not allowed to have those normally.
Right.
Also, no one plays around DDoS right now. So
I certainly didn't because I was just like, conspiracy breakers are expensive. He can't get in here.
Yeah. And it's risky to like inject for conspiracy breakers too. So.
Oh yeah, against Scorpios especially. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah, DDoS, but that's a good thing. I actually like the fact that DDoS is no longer MWL'd or restricted because that is the correct use of DDoS, right?
Like a super inside job, yeah.
Right, exactly. And so I'm generally fine with DDoS being used that way. And I think it's actually an interesting card to have to play around.
Yeah. Especially because you can see it out of any Anarch now. It's not specific to one strategy. Like, I don't know. I think it's very good with Amakoa, just so you can build counters after a purge. Because there's a really annoying deck with all mythic all mythic ice, and then it puts a CVS in archives, and it can lock out Amakoa just because you need actual virus counters to get in. So the DDoS just like helps the value decks and enables the tag me access 12 cards decks because those are also fine.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is kind of interesting that's coming out, I mean, because this has kind of always been true, but like the Jinteki ice is all the ice with a lot of subroutines on it that people are playing besides Tour Guide. So like Jinteki really vexes Shaper more than anybody else because Shaper's really good at breaking ice with like low numbers of subroutines pretty well, or low strength ice with lots of subroutines, but not things like DNA Tracker.
Yeah, DNA Tracker's a little rough Kakugo can be rough for Shaper. It's kind of a coin flip. Most of my ice is garbage, I'll be honest. It's like there's a Komainu and a couple DNA trackers or something. But
Komainu is a problem for Shaper.
yeah.
Shrike. On that Shrike.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta be able to break a tour guide.
Aaron Andrews had Shrike, top 16 last year. And he had toolbox too, though. So, hey Dan, you know what's good against DNA tracker that's in smoke? I saying Houdini. That's the proper decoder.
Well, you know what I was actually using as a backup previously, just to deal with Kagugo in the late game. I was using Ankuza to bounce it with stealth.
Nice. If you have the money.
Yeah, this deck is incredibly rich. Just because if I have the clicks, I also have money. But if I have the Tapworm, also I end up sitting on a mountain of gold, and then I can just try to bounce ice with it.
Hey Sam, do you know that Dan mulliganed the feedback filter?
Oh.
Hey, I didn't know you were on Battle of Wits. I thought that well, I also didn't have any money, Spags.
I know.
Yeah.
Battle of Wits is someone else's deck, thank you. I made this one.
I know. Okay. How about we call it food or no food?
Obakata or no Bakata?
Yeah, Obakata or no Bakata. That's what we'll call it. The feedback filter was in the opening hand, but with smoke, I have to be able to leverage my 40 card hand. If I have no money and no acceleration, there's no ability for me to do that.
Yeah. And I think I would have gotten rid of the feedback filter with the cerebral. Like, we would have at least had to keep playing, so...
Yeah. If you're 3...
Do you like how I did the Fury Road? I'm like, let's just mad dash it because I'm dead no matter what happens here.
It was a nice touch.
Because I was like, I could draw up to 8 and run it, but if it's a June bug, I'm still at 0 cards. So I might as well get the extra point if it in fact is an agenda. Because I knew you already had the Neural EMP in the trash, and I knew you had archived.
Yeah. And honestly, there's no real rhyme or reason to what you install at any time. It's just whatever you have when you have the Mushin.
Right.
If you have 2 targets and you're waiting on the Mushin, then you make a decision, but it's, if you draw a Cerebral Overwriter, play the Cerebral Overwriter. If you draw an agenda, play the agenda. Because otherwise, they'll try to figure you out.
It's the old Sly Squid approach where you just take 3 cards, shuffle them, and then Mushin them, and you have no idea which card was Mushin, so even you can't give anything away?
Yeah.
His opening hand was 3 Mushin.
That's pretty rough.
This was not a good hand, but I had to keep it. It
was a fun hand.
Yeah. 3 Mushins is normally... Well, you need a Mushin early, so you can't really get rid of it. And Obakata was protected by Mushin, because I don't think he checks a turn 1.
Well, and he threw Kakugo over it.
Yeah, gotta make sure.
You probably didn't have to, but...
I mean, you can do whatever you want. If you want to go ballsy Mushin turn 1, you put a Cortex lock in front of it.
Well, my thought on the Kakugo was eventually I might build that out into a taxing server and just try to normal advance Obakata out, because that is a late game plan against smoke with the smaller deck size.
Yeah.
Just keep running it through. And it was probably bad because I had 3 Mushin, but that was the reasoning behind it, at least.
Yeah, and just to kind of comment on that, whether or not I have clone chips or film critics for Worlds depends completely on whether or not I think Jinteki is going to be the primary core front of field or not, because Smoke cannot handle stealing Obakatas very well.
Mushin Pilana is legitimately a real deck. I would not discount taking against it at all. Alternatively, just burn it on Inversificator. That card's insane.
It's good. The film critic's probably more useful, and not only do you not have to worry about the Obakata, you don't have to worry about the punitive afterward. That's the other worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have film critic, I basically have to hope you hit a trap.
That's why you run that expose.
What's the name of the dumb expose card? Is it gone now? The run HQ and then click to expose for a credit.
Lemuria Code Cracker.
Lemuria Code
There it
Gone.
is.
Yeah.
It's gone.
That card was
Rest
so
in
bad. I think it's gone, yeah.
It's gone.
Oh, the first 2 weeks I played, I put that in literally every deck because I didn't know what I was doing.
Hey, it could be worse. It could be Mirror Mesh Bodysuit. Yeah,
Hey, dude, Murash Bodysuit at least saves you from CI combo.
that's true.
It's well, it doesn't Deuce's Wild has a reveal on it, right?
Only ice.
Only ice.
Only ice.
Oh.
Rest in peace.
Oh.
Damn it, Dan.
Come on, Dan.
Silhouette's still in the game.
Make better cards, Dan.
Silhouette. Run Silhouette.
Everybody here has seen the reference photo that he sent in for that card, right? Where it's him in a tank top playing Uno, right?
With a cigarette, yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Typical Thursday night for Dan.
Yeah, but that's just Dan on a normal day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a posed photo.
So, does anyone feel like Film Critic, like, is that a card that belonged on the restricted list? Does it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Aesop's does. That's like my one gripe, because Aesop's is only good if you can have like everything in Shaper together, like Levy and clone chips. It's still a value, but it's not like a super value without Levy and clone chips.
I actually really like Aesop's out affection.
Yeah, Aesop's I think needs to be on the list.
Yeah,
just
because
because you'd have a kind of Spags old Haley deck with Punch Up and 3 levies, and you just never run out.
Yeah. And with Reaver now, you could just burn through it really fast.
Yeah, I love that deck.
Yeah, it's too good, Dan. That's why it's on. That's what we're saying. It's too damn good, okay?
So, Sam, is Film Critic on the restricted? Like, is that one of the that made this deck way stronger, right? This Jinteki deck.
That's part of it. Like Film Critics on the restricted, they can't just like. There's less sit back and Opus and have a lot of the net prevention that was bad for it. Like Deus Ex was bad for it, and that's gone. So, yeah, a lot of the cards it hated to see rotated out.
Mm-hmm.
You can get away with greedy HQ protection because you're not going to get siphoned, and they have like no pressure outside accessing cards, and your agendas aren't really that accessible. So,
and it seems like Film Critic is, out of all the restricted cards, it's the least likely probably to get picked.
I think Anarch picks like Film Critic, or the regular Anarchs pick like Film Critic or E-Strike a lot of the time, just because they don't have anything eating. Like, actually, even Criminal, I don't think they have anything eating their restricted.
Except for if you want to do like Leela Gang side, but yeah. Normal run Criminals don't really need any of the current restricted cards except for like Film Critic.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think Film Critic had to be on it because it's one influence. It's easily portable, and I mean, it would just crush out Jinteki and Scorpios. I mean, maybe that's not a bad thing, but Scorpios gets wiped out on
Hey.
That's what I'm saying. Well,
Don't be
Film
talking
Critic,
shit about Wayland.
yeah. So that's why Film Critic had to be on the list, I feel. It's just negated too many strategies.
Like, Film Critic being on the list means you can actually play Argus again. And
Yes.
And Aaron being gone.
Yeah,
Aaron
being gone was huge.
Aaron was one single connection that blanked an ID.
Yeah.
Two IDs.
More than one ID. Like,
Yeah.
Harpsichord died.
CTM.
Yeah.
Yes. Many strategies. Thank God he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. Like, building a Shaper deck is really hard right now. It's kind of a really cool puzzle that I'm really enjoying, but it's also interesting. Yeah, Shapers weren't too powerful. They were going to be in too powerful of a place before, I really feel, because they have all of the control tools, and now you get to have one control tool.
Yeah. Anarch got banned, Anarch and Criminal got banned, Shaper got restricted.
Well, right. But
Well,
that's
one thing
because
you can do. It's kind of influence heavy in Shaper, but you can always just run Imp instead of the Film Critic. I mean, that kind of works the same way. You just empty the autos.
Yeah, Imp has a very high stock right now, just because there's a lot of like bunch of operations in hand, wait for you to mess up decks, and it's either for Anarch. I think you should be on Wanton or Imp, and
Edkin.
I guess
I think Null's actually good right now.
Null is good. Null's very good with AI breakers, and people have AI hate, but like not the type that's good against like they have high strength ice and they try to lock out on Makoa.
Yeah.
And Null's very good at getting around that.
We need an alt art of Null where he's like reaching towards a cab that's driving away with his briefcase inside of it now that Cypher's gone.
Or we just like never reference Cypher again, and I'm good with that one too. Like a card that needed to go.
Yeah, I feel like that's a card that's never coming off that big list.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gone forever. And Blue
But so many great Haley decks. So many great Haley decks were made with that card.
So my Cypher story is that I stopped playing kind of after Pack 5 of Flashpoint, and then I came back for the Cleveland Regionals and made it into the top cut. And so on stream, somebody played Cypher. I had to like hold it close to my face and read it word for word to make sure I knew exactly how it worked. But I'd never played against it or with it.
Yeah. It was still good with 3 neutral influence. Like, I mean, the Anarch in the cut at Gen Con was all on like Cypher. It was Spags' Cypher Temujin build where it had 4 neutral or 4 out of faction influence and 11 MWO because the system didn't really work.
That's what Deng was on. Yeah, that was an Andrew's build. He's like, let's just run all the broken cards, 2 Cypher and 2 Temujin. Yeah, so.
And then Parasites, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Seems good.
Parasite was the best icebreaker in the game. I miss a great deal.
Now we have to deal with
Cypher,
like
it's not even that broken.
Kukugo. Yeah.
Kukugo and tour guide meta.
Why?
Because we got no parasites. We can't punish people for
I hate
their garbage.
I hate tour guides so much. It's such a pain in the ass.
At least give us Kraken back. Like, at least give us Kraken.
It's okay. Basically, every card that went into my noise deck, including the Identity, got shipped off into space.
Yeah, my Gen Con Andy deck went from losing 2 cards to rotation to losing like 30 cards to rotation in Core 2.
I was just going to say, I think there's an inverse relationship between the amount of Shrike showing up and like, well, not actually, it wouldn't be inverse. It'd be like correlate. Like, as the Shrike increases, it means that tour guide is better and better.
Yeah, the worse Parasite. The less access you have to Parasite, the better Shrike gets. There you go.
Yeah.
And also, right, you need it in that null deck because you hit a Komainu and you're just wrecked. Right?
Yeah. Like, a lot of the time, the plan is to get up to, like, 15 cards, and you can't really deal with Komainu.
I really, really enjoy that you were doing a counter surveillance build. Because I think people are assuming that that's dead, and it's definitely not. I've been making that argument for a while, even though I haven't really been on Anarch for a good long while. People are like, oh, you can't effectively tag yourself. I'm like, accessing 8 is fine. It doesn't have to be 22 cards.
Like, no, it's just, can you clear their hand? All right, you're good for a while. And then, like, can you eventually just tend them on R&D? Maybe it's awkward if they have big ice, but that's, I guess, where DDoS and Null come in.
I guess I'm just really excited that we're finally in a meta where obviously people are going to probably jump on me immediately and say that there's a ton of shit that's broken. But I enjoy that we have a lot fewer broken decks and just a bunch of good decks, right? There's a lot of decks with just like good power plays in them, but with pretty severe weaknesses. And I like that.
My one gripe about the meta is, as a runner, I would like to be able to do something to the corp other than just access a card. Like,
you can mining accident them.
Yeah, that's
it's you can do it, but it's not the same. Like,
you can play Apocalypse. Apocalypse Criminal's pretty good right now.
Why did they say? Don't talk about that. That might be next week. But why did they save the stupid hemorrhage over Vamp, because I would be totally down for Vamp in this metagame.
Yeah, I think Vamp. I think there were some cards that went on the restricted and ban list and what have you that just went on there because there was so much residual hate, but they lost the things that made them miserable. Do you know what I mean? Like if you lose your buddies as Vamp, if you can't go full, Congress Kate build.
Oh no, I was gonna bring back Reyna. Like get the dust off the lampreys, get some Rubicon switches in there, like.
Right, but that's more complicated than just siphon spamming, so it's probably fine. People can claw their way out of that. I love Lightning Accident. I think it's a fantastic card design.
It's good. I'm not normally a fan of beaters, but like I don't think it doesn't warp it doesn't let you attack the corp. It lets you like put the corp in a bad situation, but they don't have to say like, all right, well, I need to answer this.
Right.
And that's what I'm missing.
If they're above 5 credits, it also still gives them a choice. And if they choose to lose the 5 credits, that's good. And the bad pub is obviously good. When you're getting hammered like that by like a cred denial style deck, having a choice, even in a somewhat illusionary one, still feels better than just getting siphoned over and over again. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not defending, like, Siphon was too strong. It was like a 3-time world champion card. Like, it's pretty clearly very strong. I want to be able to interact with certain corps that just don't play, that basically aren't weak to accesses because they take a bunch of dumb cards like the Future Perfect and Obokata Protocol. And,
or their CI.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my only gripe with the meta. Other than that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's going to be one of those things where after Worlds is over, I think there's going to be a lot of different opinions on the meta than what we have right now. Like. Yeah.
Probably.
It's hard to say if there's broken decks.
I'm gonna bust out my sweet Aesop Steves for Worlds, and. Yeah, it's going to warp the metagame. There you go.
Are we excited for Thanksgiving this year? That's like the month after Worlds where people actually play crazy dumb shit.
Play whatever they want. Yeah. Well, now those store champs it's right after Worlds. So, but I guess people don't really. People just play whatever in store champs, but
as long as we all agree that CI is still a problem and still sucks, I mean that's my only problem with the meta.
CI is a really dumb identity that shouldn't exist, in my opinion, and that's a direct quote. Like, there's so many things that it enables that are just, in my opinion, just not runner.
So part of the reason I like the null deck is a good CI matchup, but I feel like if you take out CI, there is no HB IDs. Like, you just don't have IDs.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's the downside. I am down for like creation and control to swap ETF in for CI and call it a day, but I don't know if they'll actually do that.
And what are we going to call that? Engineering the past?
Well, it's like they when they got rid of ETF, they got rid of it because nobody would play anything else, but that's because everything else sucks. Like that's a reason why nobody would play anything else.
Well, I think one of the things is, with the exception of CI, every other HB identity is hyper-specific as to what it really wants to do. And the problem is that means that when you sit down next to your opponent is just like, oh, you are playing Architects of Tomorrow. So if I run first click, I'm probably fine. And that every other HB identity, you're revealing a lot of information about your deck just by sitting down at the table.
Yeah, it's like it seems like every ID when they come out, they put out certain cards where it's like these cards go with this ID, but specifically with HB, it's like you just don't have a lot of options with the way you build your deck.
Yeah, a lot of the synergy cards were synergies with ETF, where it was like whatever the operation that gives you 2 and installs.
Lateral
that's
growth.
Just not that great. Outside of ETF and like advanced assembly lines where it's a completely different card in ETF.
Right, gives you credit on your opponent's turn. Yeah, or on your both turns.
Yeah. So I feel like they didn't really print much synergy cards for the super specific stuff, and 4 of them just say play ice. Like.
Well, right, and all of the synergy was with ETF because it was all about installing things without clicks, right? Like so many of HB's good cards are about installing cards off turn or when you're not supposed to or when you score or whatever. So everything ended up just feeding into the ETF credit. So none of these cards particularly synergize, none of the good cards synergize with any of the other IDs. Except for the fact that like the installs can also be ice, but all of the other IDs besides CI have the same problem when people would say do the math on Stronger Together. And I'm not going to say who would say that.
We're fine saying it. Like,
yeah, of course. But the problem is you still need money to res ice.
Yeah.
And so you can install all the shit for free you want, but without money, you can't res HB's very expensive shit.
Also, sometimes the extra strength just doesn't matter for Stronger Together. Like, if they have an Almacoa and it's built, then it doesn't matter if it's 3 strength or 4 strength. Like, or if they're running Ottman and all your strength ice is 5 strength. It's. I mean, I said it on the Source podcast a while ago, but if Damon wins, what was the meme number? 900 games. If Damon wins a regional with Stronger Together and there's at least 30 people, I will donate $900 to a charity of his choosing. Because that idea is just garbage. Like, there's no defending that one.
Well, he obviously has. You can't say there's no defending, and you can defend it, but
yeah, people can do all sorts of things.
It's a losing battle.
Well, I mean, I think it's so interesting because I get really attached to shit that's bad all the time, and I just play this game. I didn't make these cards. I didn't get really excited, and got down in a notebook a cool idea that I had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. People can get overcommitted to really bad shit. See my, 7 professor decks on Netrunner DB that I published.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think probably should wrap this thing up. It's been going for about 2.5 hours now. So.
Yep, I got to wake up at 6 and do my morning stream. So thank you very much for having me part of this tournament. I hope I didn't stink up the place too bad, but thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, your first showing, you made it to round 2. Only 7 other people can say that. So
shout out to all the Texas players that are still in and all the people in my KOS team that are still in, because I think that's almost everyone left. We got to take out Jonas, and then we got this.
Yep, and just quick shout out. Will you put the link for the Jinteki plugin in your show notes? Just because I'm sure people are going to ask for it. My very good friend from our local meta, Thomas, made that plugin for Jinteki to enlarge the credits and the chat text.
Yeah, I'll do that. I linked it in the Twitch chat, but I'll put it in the YouTube video comments.
Perfect, thank you
as well. Cool. Well. Spags, thanks for doing this with me. It's fun as always. You're getting a lot of compliments on your hair game, so looks like you got some world's level hair ready to go.
Okay, I guess I didn't do anything with it this year.
I don't know.
He just woke up this way.
You got some Conan O'Brien going there, like
yeah, a little wave going on.
I'm gonna say it's the sweet lighting that you got going.
It's like you're like mood lit.
Yeah, you're very
like
you get some subtle tones happening all over the place.
Bags after dark.
Yes, Blade Runner lighting here.
But thanks for joining me. You got any shout outs that you want to dish out?
I'm just ready for Worlds. I hope everyone has a good time at King of Servers like always. And I think, Dan, are you going to stream? I know
I'm going to do like Table 2, or I might do if somebody else is doing like the top 2 teams, I might do like team 3 and team 4. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Just to get maximum coverage on the stream.
Cool. So yeah, we may have 2 streamers this year, which is nice. We'll see how that goes. But otherwise, see everyone at Worlds.
Nice. Lock it up. Let's do it.
Lock it up.
I'm actually getting a lock it up play, Matt. You'll see.
Yeah. I just figured out that there's a football game going on, so I'm happy about that too. That sounds fun.
The flag football.
Oh yeah.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Peter, you got any shout outs you want to throw out there?
No, just thanks to Jason, thanks to Travis, my 2 opponents this week, and thanks to you for letting me come back and comment on the last game.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for playing and commenting. You're just all over the place this time. Yeah, so that'll wrap it up. We got Jonas and Tom still have to play, and then Deanne and Colin still have to play. So we don't know who Sam and Jason are going to be playing against yet, but we'll figure that out by the end of the weekend, and we'll get semifinals going next week. So thanks everybody for tuning in and watching. Thanks to everybody that's watching the videos on YouTube. And yeah, that's about it. Take it easy.
Later.
Good night.
See you.
Thanks everybody.
Peace.